G'day, ZiggyD here and welcome back for my Day 5 recap of the 1 week Nemesis race. Today was a pretty big day of really serious endgame mapping. We were kind of into the mid-levels of maps and trying to sustain a sort of as large a map pool as we can while also pushing forwards as much as you can. I did play with Willy Wonka, I did hang around with Willy Wonka and those for a while, but unfortunately today Willy Wonka died, and I'm sure you guys will be able to see on his YouTube channel and on his stream VOD that highlighted, but that was a pretty devastating blow to their party and particularly to Willy as well, because he had a really good shot at winning this entire thing, and pretty unfortunate that he happened to die. I believe it was to a puncture boss, and wasn't able to hit that dispel puncture pot in time. So, but for me, however, it's been pretty good stuff. I've mostly been mapping with the Sailor crew. That's you guys might have seen them on the ladder. Sailor Luna, previously Sailor Moon, who has died, and there's another Sailor, and there's also Antics and a few other people in the group as well as Duked, my old group buddy from day 1, day 2, who died. You'll remember died in the first Dominus fight, in Cruel. He's back up, and we're kind of competing, almost neck and neck. He's having a bit of a sleep at the moment, and I've managed to pull ahead of him a little bit, and we're having a bit of a competition ourselves, in addition to the overall competition. But pretty serious stuff, some pretty awesome mapping. We were mostly doing level 69, level 70, level 71, and a few level 72 maps. And just in the most recent map, we actually found a level 74 maze map. So that's going to be pretty epic. We'll be running that soon, trying to roll that really good, because that's kind of like this might propel us into much higher level maps that we can get a lot of XP in tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a really big day. And although today was a big day of sort of preparing and getting as much progress down as we can, I think tomorrow is going to be the really clutch day for a lot of people. Now, you guys will remember from the last VOD, the last day's recap something. I'm still pretty tired, guys. It's going to be all over the place as usual. I hope you guys have come to expect this by now. But as I said yesterday, my goal for today was to try and get into the top 100. You know, I was sort of thinking originally top 200 would be my goal. Then I thought, let's go for top 100. I think we can do this. Well, now, let's switch on over here. And take a look at this. 82 at the time of recording this video. Yes, I'm pretty happy about this. So doing really, really well, and also probably going to gain quite a few more positions as well, you know, tonight and definitely, hopefully tomorrow. There's quite a few people above me that, as you can see, are dead. Lots of deads here on the ladder, and surely going to be many more rips before the competition is out. So my plan is just going to be steady and consistent, play pretty safely, but also push as hard as I can while doing so. And maybe I'm actually starting to consider now that perhaps, and this is probably egged on by all of you guys who are constantly messaging me and telling me to, you know, really go for it, going to try and push into the top 40 to get my first ever demis. I've never won a demigods, you know, anything before. Basically, for those of you guys who are new to this sort of racing scene, the demis or the demigods are a series of different unique items. There's a whole set of them, and this season you get gloves. They're demigods gloves. Now these aren't anything special in the actual game themselves, but they're kind of like a trophy. So they're just something, you know, showy to say, you know, I won this race, or I performed extremely well in this race. And if I can get into the top 40, I will end up getting one of those, and could be my first one of all time. So that's pretty interesting, pretty exciting. You know, sort of still understanding that I'm not going to be able to put in as much time as most people, but I'm still going to try and do as best I can in the time that I can put in. And so far, I've been pretty efficient and pretty effective. And as you've seen, just constantly climbing the ladder, really, really exciting stuff. So let's switch on over and take a look at my character's progression, and keep you guys updated on the build. As you can see, level 79 now, and a half, probably hit level 80 by tonight, maybe level 81 even, if we push pretty well and do a few pretty good maps. We did some awesome maps today, and I might actually highlight some sort of like VODs and upload just some like random maps that I thought were pretty fun or cool, or particularly scary and dangerous. I have a few sort of highlighted that I might be able to upload for you guys. Let me know if you're interested in seeing such a thing. But in terms of the character's progression, really, really happy with how things are going. And today was a day of huge, enormous, massive upgrades. So let's first start off with the passive tree, because this is a little bit less impressive. But basically, I think you guys have seen most of this stuff. But what I've been doing is sort of playing around with the points. I basically invested a few points in life and into these damage nodes, and then once I had enough, I respec'd out of them to be able to get Fury Bolts and start heading down this way. I'm very excited to get Acceleration and Leather and Steel. Both of these are going to improve my clear speed by a ton, so I'm going to be going for those, and by the end of the 1 week race, hopefully I'll have all of these and probably also some life nodes, all these extra damage nodes. I kind of feel like I'm mostly going for damage nodes now. Pretty decent in terms of survivability as long as I'm careful and very aware of what things will kill me. But that's, so that's pretty minor. But in terms of gearing, fantastic stuff happened today. Now I believe I already showed you this bow in the yesterday's video, because I did get this yesterday. However, playing with this group, we've been trading stuff back and forwards. Like for example, I picked up an Alcta shield that ended up being insane. This thing would sell for multiple exalts, and I knew that one of our guys in our group would need it, so gave it to them. And in return, they've done the same sort of thing to me, and this is kind of, I think, a big part of being with an effective mapping group, and I'll probably be sticking with these guys for the rest of the race. And as you can see here, this is a pair of gloves that I did manage to get. I was actually wearing a pair of level 35 gloves pretty much the whole race, since I got them, and they were actually really nice, but not as nice as these ones. And pretty funny, I had a good laugh at this. 449 evasion, 395 armor. These gloves are more protective than my entire metal chest armor. I just find that kind of funny. But they're pretty nice, add a little bit of extra damage and stuff like that. I have been able to, I got this quiver of Duked. He found this earlier, and this thing is insane. Look at this. This is so GG. The only thing I would really want on this is to turn that fire damage into fizz damage, because we get a lot more out of the conversion that way and a lot more life leech. But still very, very nice. And this alone has been done so much for my resistances that I've been able to switch around a lot of other things. And most importantly, you'll notice this chaos resist is now minus 13. It was minus 60 before, and anything chaos like poison clouds or anything was just like super ripsville, like instant half health, really scary sort of stuff. At minus 13, much better. Like with 4.7k life, that's I would want this to get a lot higher, but in the 1 week race we kind of have lower numbers of everything in general. We're dealing with very limited gear. Everyone's only had a week to find awesome stuff, less than a week. So doing as well as I can in life, but getting this chaos resist up makes this life much more manageable against any sources of chaos damage. So very happy with that. Possibly will try and improve it a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to find too many upgrades before the end of the race. So the rest of the chaos resist I'm getting from here, pretty much wearing this ring just for the chaos resist. Pretty big deal, and it also sorts out a few of my other resists there as well, keeps me up on all of those. Could potentially get some ring upgrades. This one here is just a really nice damage ring. I've had this before, but I'm actually able to use it now much more consistently, and you'll see this is actually a huge damage buff. 2,900 down to 2,650, so pretty big just from that one ring there. It's because it's physical and increased elemental damage with the weapons there. Very nice stuff. And then I actually rolled this one today. It's not insane, but the chaos resist from it is really good. And actually, because it's 15 to all attributes, 28 to strength, and 23 to all attributes, that's a lot of strength. And this actually gives me a significant amount of health, considering it has no life on it. You can actually look at this, 4,694, 4,580, so over 100 health just from the strength alone, and that also gives me a bit of damage as well. So you can see actually a huge 200 damage from that one item there. So really nice stuff, and pretty happy with the upgrades overall. I don't know if I actually showed you these boots yesterday or not. As I said, kind of, it's all a bit of a blur because so much Path of Exile playing has been happening. But I did buy these for way too many chaoses, but you want to spend as much of this currency as possible to make your character clear as much as possible. And these boots are also really insane for a 1 week race. Like they wouldn't be that great in a normal race, in a normal league, but in the 1 week race, 20% move speed with those resists and life is pretty amazing stuff. Now, something else I forgot to mention yesterday was that I've actually linked up Frenzy along with Blood Magic as is necessary with Culling Strike and Item Rarity, and I've actually become the group's color, and also when solo I've been able to cull piety and things like that much more effectively. Only 20% rarity there, but the 53% rarity from there brings us up to 70 something, and then that's enough to squeeze out a few extra rares and uniques here and there. I think it's definitely worth running. If you have the links to run it, you should always try and run some sort of culling skill. The culling alone is worth it, and the rarity is just icing on top of that. I've also been using Devouring Totem a fair bit. I still have Decoy for when I'm soloing, I'll use Decoy, but when I'm with a group, Devouring Totem is really nice. Pay attention to if your allies need corpses or whatever for any reason, and then don't use it, but otherwise, go nuts with it. It's a really nice health buff, gets rid of things that Necros resummon, just does a lot of extra things. Removes corpses that could be corpse exploded. Really nice to run Devouring Totem as much as possible. So overall, pretty happy. My DPS is pretty good in the 1 week sort of setting. This is much lower than what you'd see. This bow is insane. This was the second best bow in this race. That was, available for trade at all. All the best ones otherwise would be being worn. But this was the second best one available, and still not that great compared to what you could see in another league. But in terms of, comparatively speaking, DPS doing really well on this character. Really happy with the build overall, really happy with the gearing and everything I've managed to achieve. With a fair bit of hard work, but also a bit of sort of smart playing and smart trading. I've done a fair bit of trading, a little bit less today than yesterday, because kind of people starting to do less trading as we move towards the end of the league. But still going, still making a few sales here and there, a couple every hour. And it's been a lot of fun. Really, really looking forward to sort of finishing this race out and really putting it all in perspective again and sharing that with you guys. Should have lots of highlights coming up, and might bring you guys some mapping videos as well. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.